Hello, welcome to another flight. Today we will fly from Svalbard to Tromso, and today I will also check my new reference that I have done to Airbus A320. So all of these parameters were revised and all the procedures were revised as well. So before start recording, I already set up the flight and the state of the airplane, as well as the time and weather. I'm using global real weather, and I already checked for FsPassengers in order to check if we need to repair something. The flight plan is already introduced and load, so I will pass all these steps because they are boring and they are very well covered in another videos. So I will start from the safety inspection. The safety inspections, it's done by the pilot not flying when he arrives to the cockpit. So even before power on the battery, there are some checks that should be done in order to make sure that in the moment that we power up the airplane, nothing wrong will happen. So one of the things that we do is to make sure that thrust levers are in idle, master engines are off, and they are, engine modes normal, parking brake set, gear is down. I left this on purpose in order to you to see that there are some things very important that sometimes they are not as we expect to be. Gear down and wipers off. Okay. After this point, we are in a position where we can power on the batteries. So in order to power on the batteries, we should always check that the batteries have a power greater than 25 volts. Normally when the batteries are full charged, they should have a power about 28 volts. But in this case, as you can see, they are not completely charged, but they are operational as they are. So we'll turn on both batteries. And there is a lot of lights that we have in cockpit, and in general you see here also some lines that are connected, but there are others that are still disconnected, because with the batteries, the idea of using batteries is to use the minimum electricity as possible. A cockpit of an airplane, it's a thing that consumes a huge amount of power, and in order to have all cockpits turned on with all systems, we need to have something, let's say, let's shut it down this, we need to have something more powerful. Normally in an airport we have what it's called external power. In this airport, on purpose, I disconnected external power because we are in a remote area, and in this remote area we don't have let's say external power available. So in this case we need to power up the APU. But before power up the APU, we need to make a test of fire. Okay, so 3 lights are on, so everything performed quite normal. We can turn the APU master on and then also start the APU itself. So if we go outside here, I mean outside of the airplane, we can hear already that the APU is starting. While APU is starting, we'll put some lights here in the cockpit. So first, lights in primary flight display, lights in navigation display. We also put some lights here in upper ECAM, in lower ECAM, and in MCDU1 and MCDU2. These are the steps that are described here. The floodlights and the internal lights are as required because those are required in a night flight or whenever they are needed. And those buttons are this one, and the others are these two, which here in the simulator they rotate both at the same time, and this illuminates all the rest of the cockpit, but at day this is, let's say, not very good to the eyes with so much light, but they are very helpful at night. So we'll continue to check the APU, and we can confirm that APU is 100% 400 Hz, generating 150 volts. We can then check the system and check, as you can see here, that APU generating is on. Okay, but we need to turn on this button in order to allow the APU generator to give electricity to all the systems, and now we have that electricity. I will also turn off this one, which is the buzz time. Okay, and now, as you can see, everything is interconnected and APU is providing electricity to both in AC, and then our transformer rectifier is transforming this AC electricity, continuous alternate continuous electricity in a continuous electricity. So let's go to the next steps: direct current and alternating current. And after these steps, we are providing here electricity to the systems, and we are also, as you can see here, we are powering up our both batteries. Great, everything seems that are performing well. So another thing that we should do is to turn on our APU bleed. So what this will do is that this will turn on the air condition, and if you check, now we have hot air entering in the cabin, and this will regulate the internal temperature until 24 degrees, which is the temperature that is set it up here in these buttons. Okay, so at this point we are here, and we will also do another thing. Even before start the simulation itself, there is a pilot non-flying duty, which is to do the cockpit preparation scan. This is because in aviation there is two principles, which is do and check, which means that the pilots should always do their duties and then use the checklists to check that everything was correct. So in order to perform completely guide for you, we'll perform that way. So this cockpit preparation scan is something that normally starts from down to up, from here, and then from down to up at central, and then from down to up at right. So let's start. Wipers are off, rain repellents are okay. Oxygen, everything is okay. Normally there is a check here, which is if we want to activate the record system, we can activate. So this means that the record audio will also record in ground. Then there are some tests that can be done here just to make sure that the system is working, and we can say that system is working perfectly normal. GPWS. So one of the main things here in this cockpit preparation scan is to extinguish all white lights. So, and we will do that. In emergency electric power, we don't need to touch. Evacuations, everything is good. Flight controls, everything is also good. And now we are here at our inertial reference system, which are also called ADRs. So we'll turn on the inertial reference system 1 and we'll wait for the light, and then we pass to inertial 3, turn nav on battery, and then inertial 2, nav on battery, and it's connected. Okay, from bottom to top in the center we have signs on, no smoking on, seat belts on, navigation it's on. Beacon, we'll let it for later. Then anti-ice, everything is as supposed to be. Air condition, we should extinguish all white lights. Electricity, same, extinguishing all white lights. And then we have these warnings. Everything that you have something with orange color, it's something that is a fault, which means that our both engines are not generating electricity. But once our engines are stopped, we should not be worried about it. The next panel, it's about fuel. These are the fuel pumps, so if soon we'll turn on our engines, we should extinguish all these lights and turn on all fuel pumps from the engines, left side, right side, and even central pumps. Hydraulics. As you can guess, an airplane like Airbus cannot be flying without hydraulics. So, which is the system that moves all the control surfaces of the airplane, and is also responsible for the brakes and air brakes, brakes on wheels, and even in general all the functions that allow the aircraft to fly. So we need also to extinguish all these white lights. Okay, at the right side, normally there are here more things to do, but in simulator we'll keep it as it is. There is no such big deal. Okay, if you want and you are curious about this one, which is also called the maintenance panel, what you should do here is to cancel all white lights if they are, because if there are here also a white light, means that something needs to be repaired, something needs to be addressed to the maintenance people. And we should also check here the audio switching, which is normal, so everything is quite good. And we'll rotate again the camera to a position that we will use in most of the flight, which is this one. So at this moment we will start the simulation itself. Once the pilot not flying have done their duties, and as a team now with pilot flying and pilot not flying, we'll share some activities together, some tasks that they will share between them. Let's start then.
Hi there, Captain. How are you today?
I'm good. And you? So, what we have done is that we started this, so this order should be switched, okay? And that is something that I can do here. Okay. It's done. So if I reload this, much better now. Pilot not flying, have done his duty. We started. We are waiting. You can check here the state, so you can see that the FS2 crew add-on, it's simulating the pilot not flying, do all these activities of doing the cockpit preparation checklist, and now as you can see they are done. It's the time to request catering. Request catering using GSX. And after that we will do the cockpit preparation checklist. So we'll go here, preparing the checklist. Okay, so the checklist is available and ready. But before start, we should make sure that we have doors open here from the right side of the airplane in order to allow the catering to work. Okay, brakes are in place. Now they will rise. Okay, I can show you. As you can see here, now they will rise the platforms. Okay, and after rise the platforms and approach to the airplane, then they knock on the door and we can open the doors. Okay, we open the doors and without further delay we will start the first checklist.
Cockpit preparation checklist.
Batteries,
Both on.
electrical power,
APU on.
navigation lights,
On.
engine master,
Both off.
engine mode selector,
Checked normal.
landing gear lever,
Checked.
parking brake,
On.
flaps,
Checked position.
speed brake lever,
Checked retracted.
thrust levers,
Idle.
transponder mode,
Checked standby.
radio control panel,
Set on.
ECAM recall,
Checked.
anti-skid,
Set on.
flight director,
Set on.
emergency lights,
Checked and armed.
no smoking signs,
On.
anti-ice,
Off.
probe window heat,
Auto.
air condition,
Checked.
ventilation panel,
Is checked.
electric panel,
Checked.
fuel pumps,
On.
hydraulics,
Is checked.
AccuBrake pressure,
Okay, in echo brake pressure we are using this electricity to make the pressure in our
Set.
two
ground
main
proximity
systems.
warning system,
On.
electronic flight control system,
On.
ADDONS,
Checked.
emergency equipment,
Is checked.
checklist complete.
Okay, when we turn on our inertial reference systems, we'll have here the time that these inertial reference systems will take to align. So basically those are composed by accelerometers, and those accelerometers, they will detect the acceleration of the Earth, the planet Earth, around its rotation, and about that absolute speed they will calculate the latitude based on that. There are some wonderful piece of modern engineering. So, catering is done. You can finally close the doors, they can leave. And normally about this point we should be here about 24, which is the time where our pilot not flying will do the walk around.
Okay, I'm out for the walk around.
Okay. Time to calculate fuel, time to order fuel. So what we will do is this. I already calculated the fuel like I show you in some other videos, and the calculation this time was 10 tons, so I will use that calculation, and this is what I will order this time. Request refueling. If you are wondering which is the key, it's Control F12. Okay, so we should have our fuel truck coming at any moment. Here it is. Okay. So today what we will do is to load 5 tons in each wing, and that's it. After that we should enter here in simulator, because what we are saying here, we are saying to the Airbus simulator that we actually have these 10 tons. Light screen, so it seems that it's loaded. Okay. So after this, in a normal airport, we would check the 80s, where we would focus on wind, QNH, the pressure that we have in the air at this time to set our altimeter, the temperature, which is very important to double check or even change the performed calculations, which will lead us to the speed where we need to rotate the nose. By this time we should be at this point. We will accelerate this a little bit.
I'm back from the walk around, everything looks good.
Great. So at this moment we are about 19 minutes before starting the taxi to our journey.
Hey, Captain. The agents want to start sending people out. Can we start boarding?
Yes.
Okay, I'll let them know.
Thank you. So we will load in FsPassengers, our passengers, our cargo will be 4.5, our destination airport, Tromso.
Destination set.
It will be a normal flight, and we will use 10 minutes.
Engine instrument, check. Flight control, check.
Okay, so we will have today these passengers that will start boarding in 4.5, then which they will also start boarding. That's it. So what we have done were these steps. So time to set up our flight management system. So before start here, we should check the FMS data, and with AC status we will check that we have 2 nav databases, and we will use this one, okay, the most recent one. After this, after select the version that we will use, we will go to the init page. We will start to align our inertial reference system, and this will allow the flight management system to know exactly where we are. And in this case, like I told in the beginning, and as you can also see here in the navigation log, we will perform this navigation here. So this will be our flight. In case if you don't know, you can always scroll and confirm absolutely sure that these are our airports. I will not load a pre-flight already loaded. I will just press return button and we will create from scratch the flight plan. Our alternative airport in this case, it's this one. Okay, so it's also possible to load a route to our alternative airplane. If you don't load anything, it will assume that we go flight direct from one airport to the other in case there is any emergency in our destiny airport. We can also check besides latitude and longitude that this is the weight of the altitude of tropopause at this latitude where we are. So tropopause, as you know, it's the point that is the top of what it's called the weather. Above tropopause you don't have weather, which means you don't have clouds, you don't have rain, all that kind of weather, okay? And this change from very significantly if you are going to the north. And please remind that we are very relatively close to the north because we are at latitude 78. Okay, today we will flight with flight number TP320. Our cost index will be this one, and in case if you don't know, you can check here that our flight level will be 350. Okay, in page 2 I will also check here my reference in order to allow you to follow the reference as well. Of course I know everything by memory, but it's just to show you what we are doing. So here, what we normally introduce here, it's our zero fuel weight, okay, and also the CG. In this case, for this airplane, once this airplane, it's the, let's say, the heavier version of A320, we need to adapt these values a little bit. So what we will do, it's this. Okay, so we set it up zero fuel weight and also the zero fuel weight center of gravity. Great, so block of fuel, it's the fuel that we have on board right now. You can also double check this with what you have here, okay, which is fuel on board. Okay, after this page 2, we should pass to the performance page. In performance page, we will do, we will repeat again the calculation that we have done in some other videos to the performance values. As you know, we are with this Airbus. This is our runway length, this is our elevation. Actually it's not very big. Wind component today, it's about 11 knots. Outside temperature is 2 degrees. QNH, it's this one. Takeoff weight, we can always double check that here. as probably you already saw in another video, so which is this one. But of course unity here is in tons, and here it's in kilograms, so we have to adapt here the units. We will use flap 2 once this is a short runway. Once the weather here is very severe, it's very pretty cold, we cannot do anything wrong, and runway it's dry. Okay, so this will be our values. Please also note that thrust setting will be toggle and not flex, so we'll not define anything here on flex in order to decrease the power in the airplane. So in that case I'll put this here. Probably you cannot see both at the same time, and I'll put here the values. Okay, flap 2. Flex temperature will be toggle, and that's it. We'll performing a climb. Fuel on board that we are expecting to have at our destiny. It's still changing because we are still doing the refueling. Then we'll perform the descent, and in our destiny later on we will set up this. Everything is in place. I will also make sure that we have all values entered here. All passengers are quite almost at board. You should also check that this is a roughly calculation. Actually you can have between 5 and 6 tons. Okay, I prefer to use 6 tons of fuel on board when we land. So this fuel, as you know here in the rules, are the fuel for final reserve, holding, fuel to the alternative. It's also fuel to power up our APU to do the taxi. And so if you sum all of these, it's roughly about between 5 and 6 tons of fuel, which is always what you should have when you are about to land. Okay, so we are here, and we will perform now the takeoff brief about minute 8, and as you can see, we are there.
Hello, Captain. The passenger boarding is complete, and when you're ready, I have the load sheet for you.
Thanks.
Have a safe flight.
Thank you.
Are you ready for the takeoff brief?
Go ahead.
Okay, we have no MEL issues today. I will be the pilot flying. It will be a standard takeoff using NADP-1, and it will be a full thrust takeoff. We will use config 2 for takeoff. Runway condition is contaminated. As for anti-ice, it's not required. The packs will be on. We'll use standard calls today. At or below 100 knots, I'll reject for any warnings. Below V1, I will only reject for an engine failure, a fire of any kind, a configuration warning, or anything I deem will adversely affect the safety of the aircraft. I will reject the takeoff by calling stop. If you could, monitor that the auto brakes have activated and that the spoilers have deployed. Once we stop, if there's a fire, I'll position that side of the aircraft to be downwind and we'll evacuate through the open side. I'll advise the cabin and you talk to ATC. Above V1, We'll take the aircraft into the air and sort it out there and decide if we need to return to the airfield. If you notice anything amiss during the takeoff roll, please notify me. Any questions?
Okay, that's checked and no questions.
Takeoff brief complete.
Before start checklist to the line. What?
Checked.
Not yet, because okay, because you only start this checklist when you achieve the 0. So I will change this a little bit. Here, wait a second. I'll change here the order because the simulator doesn't allow us to do this by this order. Okay, I am updating in real time.
Checked.
And that's it. So instead of doing this, what we will do is to request our IFR clearance.
Radio, Papa Tango 314, IFR to Tromso, ready to copy. Papa Tango 314 is cleared to Tromso Airport filed. Climb and maintain 12000. Departure frequency is 127.725, squawk 3357. Clearance for 30 minutes from now. Papa Tango 314.
So, this means that we are authorized to proceed our plan, and it was filed on tower, and we should climb and maintain until flight level 120 using this frequency, and this will be our ID at ATC. So they will see us in their radar with this ID. Okay. So you should also check the FCU. And then dash, ball, and ball dash. Okay. If we have the APU at this point, we should, and we have, okay, we should say please disconnect external power. But we don't have external power, we have APU, so we don't need this step. And it's
Ground to cockpit.
go ahead.
Alright, Captain, we are removing the jetway now.
Okay.
Before start checklist.
Windows and doors.
Closed and locked.
APU.
APU on.
APU bleed.
On.
External power.
Disconnected and off.
Cabin signs.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
On.
Bearer reference.
Set. 1026.
1026. Check. Beacon lights.
Set on.
Checklist complete.
Alright guys, everyone's seated. We're all buttoned up and ready to go in the back.
Thanks.
If you need anything, just let me know.
Okay. Before start checklist to the line.
Before start checklist, down to the line. Cockpit prep.
Completed.
Completed. Gears, pins, and covers.
Removes.
Signs.
On.
ADIRS.
Nav.
Fuel quantity.
9.980 tons of fuel set. Set.
Takeoff data.
Set.
Baro ref.
1026 set.
1026 set. Okay, before start checklist completed to the line.
Also in a normal airport, we should request taxi by this time, and but here this airport it's not controlled by any tower, so we just have the frequency, and we'll just announce that we'll do taxi.
Echo November Sierra Bravo traffic. Papa Tango 314 is taxiing to runway 28.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking. We want to wish you a pleasant flight, and on behalf of all our crew and myself, thank you for choosing our company as your airline today. Cabin crew, arm slides and cross check.
So, what means arm slides? Arm slides means that after this point, if someone opens the doors, the slides will come out. Okay? The emergency slides. So, why? Because now we are about to turn on the engines and everything needs to be prepared by this moment. Before start checklist below the line.
Before start checklist below the line. Windows and doors.
Closed.
Closed. Beacon.
On.
Thrust levers.
Idle.
Parking brake.
Set.
Before start checklist complete.
Requesting pushback.
Confirm aircraft is ready for treatment.
Yes, please use type 2
We begin
concentration
treatment
at
now and observe fluid type 2. Concentration at 50%. I will call you back when ready.
Okay. As you can see, they will now perform the de-icing of the airplane. Here in the simulator is just a representation of what it's really done in reality. It's not just the wings, it's the aircraft and also the rudder and the tail of the airplane.
De-icing and anti-icing completed. Anti-icing code is fluid type 2. Concentration at 50%. I am disconnecting. Good day.
Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set. Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback. Locking gear. Departure check completed. Pipe has been inserted. Release parking brakes.
Parking brakes released.
Commencing push. Due to icing conditions, please stand by for engine start until push completed and brakes set. Set parking brakes.
Brake set.
Unlocking gear. Tow truck disconnected. Pipe has been removed. Left is clear. Right is clear. Clear to start engines.
Ignition. Starting engine number 1.
Starting number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the captain and crew, welcome aboard this flight. We hope you enjoy flying with us today.
Parking brakes are
Before
set.
takeoff, we encourage you to watch our cabin crew display the safety features of this aircraft.
Engine 1 is stabilized.
Check. Starting
Ladies and
engine 2.
gentlemen, please pay attention to the
Starting
cabin
engine
crew
2.
while we display the safety features and procedures of this aircraft in case of an emergency. In an emergency, please remain in your seat with your
We are
seatbelt
waiting
fastened.
for a PSI
In
of
case of a
about
drop in cabin
30.
pressure, oxygen masks will deploy from the panels overhead. Pull the oxygen mask towards you and place over your head. The mask can be tightened by pulling on the straps at the front of the mask. The bag may not inflate even though oxygen is flowing. If there is smoke in the cabin, the walkway emergency lighting will display to the exits, which are located here and here. In case of an extreme emergency landing,
30.
you will be instructed to get
Engine
into the
2
brace
is
position,
stabilized.
which is executed by placing your head between your knees with your hands over your head. We would also like to remind
12
you that
flow.
all electronic devices should be turned off for takeoff,
It's a
and that
little bit
mobile phones must not
higher
be used for the duration of the flight.
than the average,
Thank you for your attention during this
but
brief presentation.
it's still normal.
After start checklist.
Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Set.
APU bleed.
Set off.
APU master.
Set off.
Ground spoilers.
Set.
Rudder trim.
Checked 0.
Pitch trim. Flight controls.
Full left. Full right. Neutral. Full up. Full down. Neutral. Rudder. Full left. Full right. Neutral.
Check. Flaps.
Flaps 2.
Anti-ice.
Off.
ECAM status.
Checked.
ECAM door page.
Checked.
Hand signal.
Received.
Checklist complete.
After start checklist.
Okay, after start checklist. Anti-ice.
On. Set.
ECAM status.
Checked.
Pitch trim.
Set.
Rudder trim.
0.
After start checklist complete.
We will now do some extra things, which are the ones that are here. So in order to start taxi, we'll turn on the lights of taxi. We'll make sure that we'll have the emergency brakes available and check our takeoff config, and everything is green. We are ready. Let's put some power in the subject and give some music to the passengers because they are nervous once it's raining and with bad weather and very windy today also. So I'm using Joystick, Logitech Trustmaster Joystick, as it is described in the description of the video, or at least as it will be.
Taxiing checklist.
Nose light.
Taxi.
Brake check.
Pedal pressed. Checked 0.
Check. Auto brakes.
Max.
Takeoff data.
Reviewed.
FCU.
Checked.
Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. TO config.
Checked no blue.
Checklist complete.
Before takeoff checklist to the line.
Before takeoff checklist down to the line. Flight controls.
Checked.
Checked. Flight instruments.
Checked.
Checked. Briefing.
Confirm.
Flap setting.
Config 1. Plus
Flight
F.
deck. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Captain, the captain is secure.
Thanks.
Echo November Sierra Bravo traffic Papa Tango 314 is taxiing to runway 28.
Flap settings. Config 1
check the
plus
speed.
F. Set.
Config 1 plus F. V1, VR, V2 flex temp. V1 is 1, 4, 0. V rotate is 1, 4, 2. V2 is 1, 4, 4. And we're using takeoff go around. ATC.
Set.
ECAM memo.
Takeoff. No blue. Takeoff. No blue.
Before takeoff checklist complete to the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has advised that we are now cleared for takeoff.
Cabin crew sits for departure.
Flight attendants seats for takeoff. Before takeoff checklist.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
Brake fans.
Off.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
TCAS.
TARA tilt above.
Exterior lights.
Set on.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Checklist complete.
Takeoff. Man, toga, SRS and runway.
Check. Power set. .100 knots.
Checked.
Beat 1. Rotate.
Positive rate.
Retard.
Positive climb.
Gear up. Navigation.
Check.
The airplane is a little bit heavier than what is supposed.
Gears up. Lights off.
Flaps 1.
Speed check, flaps 1.
Flaps 0.
Speed check, flaps 0.
Autopilot on. Climb thrust. And the after takeoff checklist.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
Spoilers.
Set.
Flaps.
Checked retracted.
Landing gear.
Gear up, lights off.
Exterior lights.
Checked.
Packs.
Both on.
Anti-ice.
On.
TCAS.
Checked.
Altimeter.
1026.
1026. Checked. Checklist complete.
Okay, like in real life, sometimes things are not exactly as we are expecting. So I am simulating
Transition altitude.
what you can do
Arrow reference set and cross-checked.
Check.
in a situation where you are in flight and suddenly you don't have your flight plan actually loaded. Do you remember? I didn't load it on purpose like in the other video. So in this case you should immediately introduce the next waypoint, and you will see that this way we are back at our track on course, but this will not be forever, because suddenly we will achieve here 10,000 feet at this pinky, and this will be our acceleration phase, and here we will achieve our top of climb, and then suddenly after that we will achieve our next point, and we should contact our tower by now.
Port at center, Papa Tango 314 is at 8,500, climbing 12,000. Papa Tango 314, Port at center, roger, altimeter 1026. Papa Tango 314, turn right heading 240, resume on navigation, climb and maintain 12,000. Turn right heading 240, resume on navigation, climb and maintain 12,000. Papa Tango 314.
Passing 10,000 feet.
Lights off.
Off.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now safe to use your portable electronic devices. Please remember that mobile phones must remain switched off for the duration of the flight.
So we are accelerating. Okay, we have next two steps in our computer, so we need to put, without further delay, all the other ones.
The captain has turned off the seatbelt signs. You may now take off your seatbelt, but we encourage you to remain seated with your seatbelt fastened at all times.
Thousand to go.
Check. And now we have our main flight plan introduced and our alternative flight plan introduced. We should check fuel on board at arrival at destiny.
Climb and maintain flight level 260, Papa Tango 314.
Okay, so we are climbing now in a considerable, very high rate of climb. (2,800 feet per minute). coming back to our duties here. Not this one, but this one. And we can review what we have done. So, what we have done is that we have done cabin crew advised, we have done all these steps, and then we also perform after takeoff checklist to the line, and now we are here and we will do the after takeoff checklist to the line with FS to group. After takeoff checklist to the line.
After takeoff checklist, down the line. Landing gear.
Up.
Flaps.
Retracted.
Packs.
On.
After takeoff checklist completed, to the line.
Temperature. Okay, we are already below the ice temperature, because ice temperature is between -5 and 5. So we are now safe and we can turn off the anti-ice systems, and our engines will gain a little bit less fuel flow, which means a little bit more fuel economy for the flight. So I will let down passengers go to the bathroom, which means that if they want, they can go to the bathroom. Okay. Standard set. After takeoff checklist, below the line. After takeoff checklist, below the line.
After takeoff checklist, below the line. Pararef.
Standard set.
Standard set. After takeoff checklist is complete.
At this time, we will start a movie to our passengers.
0, 1, 3, cross-checked, passing 18,000.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just started the in-flight movie displayed on the screens at the front of the cabin. You will find a set of headphones controls in your armrest. Ladies and gentlemen, we are starting to serve hot food. Please extend your tray table and return your seats to the upright position.
So now we are accelerating a little bit the time. And we will achieve the top of climb of flight level 260 in a few seconds. We can always check here. As usual, this simulator have this problem. Every time. it do this. So in reality, our speed never touched the line, but as you can see here, we have some wind gusts. So what we will do is increase our climb speed, okay, which will allow us to reduce a little bit our indicated airspeed to a safety zone. Okay. And now we can turn on again the automatic and optimum level of climb. Okay, so this is our radar. We are about to achieve our flight level 350. And here we are.
This is the captain speaking. We've reached our cruising altitude. I've turned off the seatbelt signs, so feel free to get up, stretch out, and move around. Our flight attendants will be coming around to assist you with anything you might need. Thank you.
At this point we can check our optimum altitude, which would be this one. So this is the distance to top of descent. Which is also represented here by this white arrow here. If you like to see this view also in zoom, I can show you this a little bit. This view is very important because it's the navigation view where you have our primate flight display and our navigation display. So this is always representing how it is in reality. The navigation display, here you have the main informations like the ground speed. Here you have the indicated airspeed. So this is the speed of the air in the pitot tube. We are flying in Mach and in altitude cruise level, which is the one that it's always set it up here in init page. Okay, so coming back again, we can also check our max speed here and our altitude here. Once we are 4 times accelerating the time in the real, you see all these values fluctuating a little bit, and it's because of that. You can also see here the wind that we are facing. So this is the wind direction and wind speed. This is the VOR that we are using to navigate, so it's our next point. It's this one, and we will achieve this point at any moment. This is the distance to this VOR, 43 nautical miles right now. Yes?
Hello, Captain. I've got your sandwiches here. Hope tuna mayo is okay with you.
Yes, no problem at all. Okay, as you can see here on the clock, right now in our simulator it's noon and about 7. And here it's the time that we will achieve the next point. And the next point it's BGO. You can also double check that the next point here in our flight plan will be BGO as 1211. And these values have to match, okay? They can fluctuate a little bit sometimes between 1 minute when, okay, because this depends of the wind, okay? So the wind sometimes have some gusts and sometimes this fluctuates a little bit because of that. Okay, so at this time of the flight we will check the here the other systems, which is a duty of the non-flying pilot. One of the main duties of the non-flying flying pilot is doing the ATC, radio duties, and also check everything that is going to happen with the systems. And like I showed you before in other videos, we should always check all the systems, keep an eye here in navigation display, check that, yes.
I'm sorry I'm not on top form today, Captain. I really didn't need that second bottle of Chardonnay last night.
Yes, today we need to do the things in a different way then. Okay, so here are the fuel used by left engine and right engine. This is the oil that we have in both engines. Normally the oil is about 15, so it seems that we already lost a little bit of oil, but it's pretty normal. This is the pressure, PSI 37, also pretty normal. This is the temperatures of our engines. Everything is quite good and normal, and also as N1 and N2. Bleed. So our air condition system uses this. So the hot air comes from the engines and the air it's really hot, and then with some pressure and mixed with cold air, there are some chambers where the air will decrease the temperature very fast, and then they pass later on to the cabin. I mean, the air of the cabin will pass here in order to get hotter and in order to heat the air of the cabin with this temperature. Yes?
Captain, we have a whole family who've got a stomach bug and have been sick everywhere. It's completely disgusting. I really hope no one else gets ill.
Yeah. Let's serve some drinks to the other passengers then.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now serving drinks.
About cabin pressure. Landing in elevation it's auto, which means that by that time we will have a little bit increase. There are 2 points in flight where we have a little bit more pressure. It's at takeoff and at landing, just in order to avoid that in case of fire in the engines. Again, gusts as usual. Like I was saying, there are 2 times in flight where you should have the pressure a little bit higher than the outside, and those moments are at takeoff and at landing, in order to prevent some fume, some smoke comes from engines, or some smoke that comes from a fire inside the cabin. So this is the cabin altitude that we have, the reference at ground that we have inside the cabin. So our cabin altitude it's not varying because we are in cruise, and our current pressure it's about 6.9. Both packs are on. Sorry, first electricity. So the generator that it's working, that which is powering up our airplane, it's generating from engine 1. Then we have alternative current AC being transformed by our transformer rectifier into direct current, and then this direct current will be used for our systems, and it will also charge our batteries that right now they are at maximum of their charge, which is 28 volts. Everything is correct. Our main hydraulic systems, all of them are working, so everything is quite good. We also have our electricity system that it's disconnecting, and our red system that it's not working, which is that windmill that comes out of the cabin in case of lost completely the electricity. So fuel on board, as if you remember, yes.
These long flights are really boring. We need to find some other things to do, Captain.
Okay. So we can think about that once we arrive at destiny. Okay, coming back, fuel on board 6.7. Okay, fuel flow. Okay, kilograms per minute. And if you see here, it's kilograms per hour. Okay, it's a different unit. This is the fuel that we have in our wings. This is the fuel used for both engines, fuel used for left engine, and fuel used by right engine. Okay, everything is in place. Let's go to the other one. Our APU, as expected, it's turned off. We just use it at ground to turn on one of our engines if necessary. So the air condition is okay, we have 24 degrees at our cabin, doors are closed as expected, and wheels are pressured and with correct temperature. Flight controls, quite good. We have pitch trim, 8 degrees, in leg 2, sec 3, everything it's normal. So at this point we can make here a little bit more zoom, and we will also check that we are about to achieve our top of descent quite soon. Before that we need to prepare our descending, and we will configure the radio to have this minimum descent altitude at radio, which is the altitude that will pass from our altimeter pressure to the radio altimeter, and we will do that here at this pressure. Okay. That's it. So at this point we can do our
descent preparation checklist.
Seatbelt signs.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Landing information.
Received.
Altimeter.
Standard.
Error radio.
Checked.
Checklist complete.
Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be arriving by ATC vectors. As for the approach, we can expect the ILS. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. We will use full flaps for landing. Auto brake. We will leave it off for manual braking. The packs will be on. And for the decision height, it's 200 feet. Any questions?
Okay, that's checked and no questions.
Approach brief complete. Are you ready for the approach brief?
Okay.
Okay, we'll be arriving by ATC vectors. As for the approach, we can expect the ILS. Landing runway condition is dry. Anti-ice is not required. We will use full flaps for landing. Auto brake. We will leave it off for manual braking. The packs will be on. And for the decision height, it's 200 feet. Any questions?
Okay, that's checked and no questions.
Approach brief complete.
So, about this time of flight, we are still approaching relatively fast to our top of descent.
Captain, people are complaining about the choice of in-flight movies. I don't know what's wrong with the airport movies myself.
Turn right heading 205, descend and maintain flight level 240. Expect vectors ILS, runway 1, approach, Papa Tango 314. Papa Tango 314, please expedite your descent to flight level 240.
Initiating descent.
FMA check.
Radar tilt.
Set below.
Papa Tango 314, please expedite your descent to flight level 240.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the captain speaking. We've reached our top of descent, and as you've noticed, I've turned on the seatbelt sign. So if you could, kindly return to your seats and fasten your belts. Thank you.
So we are quite normal at this altitude, so I disconnected the aerodynamic speed brakes every time that you are descending, and this small circle, pinky circle, it's below your altitude. It seems that you should turn on your aerodynamic brake, speed brake, but it's not the case, so it means that we are descending at a good rate, so it's a good idea not to use it in order to save fuel and have a more economic flight. Green flight. So let's accelerate in this descent a little bit. We are at 4,000 feet. to our authorized descending altitude.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are descending to our destination. Please fasten your seatbelts and ensure all seats and tray tables are in the upright and locked position.
For Dead Center, Papa Tango 314 is at flight level 270 for flight level 240. Papa Tango 314, for Dead Center, roger. Papa Tango 3, Papa Tango 3, turn left heading 180, descend and maintain 16,000. Papa Tango 314. Papa Tango 314, please exit Scandinavian 4566, Stewart 6, turn right heading 065, descend. Papa Tango 314, please expedite your descent 16,000.
We are expediting. So
Papa Tango 314, turn left heading 150, descend, turn left heading 150, descend and maintain. Scandinavian 4566, turn left heading 3, turn left heading
Now.
360, descend and maintain 5,000. Scandinavian, Papa Tango 314, Scandinavian 4566, Stewart line 1 mile southwest, turn left heading 360, expect vectors, ILS, runway 1, approach, Scandinavian 456, turn right heading 180, Papa Tango 314.
let's just confirming ILS runway 1.
Papa Tango 31, 633, 633, descend and maintain 6, turn left heading 180, climb and maintain 14,000, Scoot 633. Papa Tango 314, please, 633, Stewart 6, turn right heading 18, Papa Tango 314, please expedite your descent 6,000. Papa Tango 314, turn left heading 150, descend and maintain 6,000. Papa Tango 314, acknowledge last transmit. Turn left heading 150, descend and maintain 6,000. Papa Tango 314, traffic is 9 o'clock, 2 miles in. Papa Tango 314, turn 633, traffic is 3 o'clock, 2 miles in. 1 633, have the traffic.
Traffic, traffic. Descend. Climb. Descend now. Climb. Climb.
Flight level
Passing
10
Climb now.
Lights on.
On.
Descend. Descend.
Papa Tango 314. Did you hear my Scandinavian?
Clear of conflict.
Turn right heading 210. Turn right heading 210. Resume on navigation. Climb and maintain flight level 180. Scandinavian 4577. Papa Tango 314. IFR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated. Scandinavian 4577. Contact 118.8. Scandinavian 4577. Enter 633. Descend and maintain. Descend and maintain 7,100.
1,000 to go.
Budon Center, Scandinavian 4577. Climbing through. Enter 633. Contact Budon. Scandinavian 4577. Budon Center, Roger. Altimeter 118.8. 633.
Flight deck. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Captain, the captain is secure.
Thanks.
Scandinavian 4566. Turn left to heading 02. Scandinavian 4566. You were 5 miles southwest. Turn right heading 210. Turn right heading 210. Descend and maintain 5,000. Expect vectors ILS runway 1 approach. Scandinavian 4566. Scandinavian 4566. Turn right heading 240. Scandinavian 4566.
So we are expecting to have this flight level about here. So time to reduce our speed. Flaps. Flap 1.
Speed checked. Flaps 1.
Localizer engaged.
Checked. Speed.
Activate the approach phase.
Approach phase is activated.
Localizer alive.
Checked.
Approach checklist.
Ecam status.
Checked.
Sliding tables.
Stowed.
Stowed. Cabin signs.
Checked.
Nav accuracy.
Checked.
Bearer reference.
Standard.
Check
Flaps
please.
1.
Flaps 1.
Flaps 2.
Speed checked.
Speed
Flaps
check.
2.
Flaps 2.
Flight attendants, prepare for landing.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Gear down.
Lights.
Transition altitude.
Set web speed. Flaps 3.
Speed checked. Flaps
Speed
3.
check. Flaps 3.
Flaps full.
Flaps
Speed
full.
checked. Flaps
Speed
full.
check. Flaps full.
Cabin crew seats for landing.
Set bearer reference, Captain.
Checked. 1013.
1013. Localizer captured.
Tromso Tower, Papa Tango 314 is 18 miles south with hotel to land. Papa Tango 314, Tromso Tower, make straight in, runway 1, altimeter 1013. Fly straight in, runway 1, Papa Tango 314.
Glide slope alive.
Check.
$2,500.
Approach activate.
Second autopilot is on.
Okay. Approach checklist. Briefing.
Confirm.
Ecam status.
Set.
Seatbelts.
On.
Baro ref.
Standard set. 1013 set.
1013 set. MDA DH.
200 set.
200 feet set. Engine mode selector.
Normal.
Alright, approach checklist is complete.
$2,500.
2,500. Cleared to land, runway 1. Cleared to land, runway 1. Papa Tango 314.
Landing checklist.
Landing gear.
Down and locked, 3 greens.
Ground
Ladies and
spoilers.
gentlemen, we are about
Checked
to land.
and armed.
Auto
Please
brakes.
remain seated
Max.
until we have stopped.
Exterior lights.
On.
Go around altitude.
Checked.
Landing memo.
Checked no blue.
Checklist complete.
$1,000.
1,000. Sync rate.
$500.
500.
Autopilot off.
$400.
400.
$300. 100 above.
100 above.
Approaching minimums.
200. Minimum.
Minimum.
Minimums.
Continue.
170. 60. 50. 40. 30. 20.
40,
Retard.
20.
5.
10.
Ground spoilers.
Spoilers.
Reverse thrust set.
Reverse screen.
Decel.
80 knots.
70 knots.
70 knots.
60 knots. Papa Tango 314, turn next taxiway.
Please remain seated until the aircraft has come to a complete halt and the captain has turned off the seatbelt sign.
Papa Tango 314, contact ground on 118.3. 118.3, Papa Tango 314.
After landing checklist.
Papa Tango 314.
Exterior lights.
Taxi to the gate. Papa Tango 314, taxi to gate 2 using taxiway Echo Yankee. Taxiing to gate 2 via taxiway Echo Yankee. Papa Tango 314.
Set.
Ground spoilers.
Checked retracted.
Engine mode selector.
Checked normal.
Flaps.
Checked retracted.
TCAS.
Set off.
Brake temperature.
Checked.
APU.
Set on.
Checklist complete.
Tromso Tower, Scandinavian 4566 is 21 miles south inbound ILS, runway 1, approach.
Scandinavian 4566 Tromso Tower, fly straight in, runway 1, altimeter 1013.
Fly straight in, runway 1, Scandinavian 4566.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at our destination.
And the parking checklist.
Parking brake and chocks.
Okay, to clean up.
Parking brake and chocks.
Chocks are set. Parking brakes released.
Engine master.
Both off.
Seatbelt signs.
Set off.
Beacon lights.
Set off.
Exterior lights.
Set off.
Anti-ice.
Set off.
Fuel pumps.
Set off.
Checklist complete.
Cockpit from ground.
Go ahead.
Okay, the chocks are in now and you can release the parking brake.
Brakes released. Cockpit to ground.
Go ahead.
Please connect external power.
Roger, connecting the GPU.
Cabin crew, disarm slides.
Captain, the GPU is now connected.
Thank you. Okay, that's it. So I hope that you had enjoyed. See you.
Thank you. Good night. Thank you.